Masechta Bava Basra Kuf Nun Gimel Daf Kuf Nun Gimel Amar Aleph, the fifth line from the top, the last word. Ahi matan tadava kasaba. There was this matana shchimera. In it was written that this matana he's being makna b'chayim u'b'mavis, in life and in death. This matana was also not all in the chasim that he was giving, only part of the chasim. So if he left some of the chasim for himself, the shchimera, and then he recovers of min adin, he shouldn't be able to get back the matana. But that's Mamed Amurim, when it's not, if it wasn't clear that it was lemeis, mitzvah lemeis. Mitzvah lemeis meaning that mitzvah machmas misa, meaning, that's the lashon, mitzvah machmas misa. If he made it clear that he's giving it away because, and he's selling it, he's giving it, he's being makned only because he's going to die, if he recovers, even if it was part, he only gave a part of the nechasim as a matana, he could, and he recovers, he could take it back. If it was clearly stated in mitzvah machmas, but since it says ubamavis, maybe it means that he means that it's mitzvah machmas misa. Let's see. So that's what we're going to say. That's the machlekes over here. Rav says it has a din like a matna shchimera, that if he recovers, meaning that it's a case of mitzvah machmas misa, if he recovers, he could back out and take back the whole matana.
Look at the last words that he said.
We'll soon see. I don't think he uses that term. Shmuel amarehi kematnas body. Shmuel says that it has a thing like giving a matana while he is healthy. It's a strong matana and he cannot back out if he recovers. Rav amarehi kematnas shchimera. Rav says it has a thing like a matnas shchimera. Why? Since he wrote in the Shtar Bamavis. So Bamavis achamisa kamalei. It seems that his kavanah was that the matana should be chal davke after death. So it's a machmas misa. It says b'chaim. Simon be'almahu. It's a simon be'alma, meaning it's a simon toy, meaning since he already mentioned his death, so he didn't want to have we call it al tiftach peh lasatan.
All negative.
Yeah, he didn't want loyratz liftayich piv lasatan. That's the lashon from the Rashbam. So it's like he said, Hamakim, the Hevish Yatzleinu Mechilizah, should save him from this sickness. And he shouldn't die. That's what the Rashbam writes. That's why he said B'chaim. But really, the Ikah was B'mavis. He was Mitzvah Machmas Misa, and therefore, if he recovers, he can take back his whole matana. Shmuel Amar Eik Matnas Bari. Shmuel says it has a din mamish like a Matnas Bari. Medichsib B'chaim. From this, since he had written the word B'chaim, Mechaim Kama, he meant his kavanah was that the matana should be chal in his lifetime, just like a matnas body. He wrote in the Shtar Uva Mavis. It's Commander Omar. It's like he said, this matana is given to you me'ata from today, mechaim from his lifetime, God forever. So, according to Shmuel, he can't if he recovers.
Until I die,
right? Right, and he says. What he's trying to say is it's a matnas body, and even if he recovers from the sickness, he cannot be chayzer and take back the matana. Sagt die Gemara Amrin Nahadoi, the Chachman Nahadoi had said, Hilsa Kavasei the Rav. The halach is like the Shita of Rav, that this matana, since he wrote B'chaim Ubamavis, he meant that it should be like a matnas chimera, and therefore if he recovers from a sickness, he could get back his matana. Amar Rabba. Till now we're talking about what was written in the Shtar B'chaim Ubamavis. How about if he wrote Mechaim Ubamavis? So Rava says that in such a case he'll be kena even according to Rav. Rava says that even Rav will be made since he wrote Mechaim from his lifetime, not in from starting. It should start Mechaim. So therefore, it has a din like a matnas body. The halach is not like Rava. What do you have to tell me that the halach is not like Rava? Pshita, the Amru, Nahardoi, the Chachma of Nahardoi, I already had said before that. Hilchasa kavasei the Rava. It has a din like a shchimera. And you know what? It's not so pashut. Ma'ud the Tema, I would have thought to say that this that Rava said was addendum to what Rav was saying. Rav is right. The halacha is if he says B'chaim Ubamavis, the halacha is as a din like a shchimera. But I would have thought that would be made if it says mechayim. Mechayim is different. Meida Rav. In such a case, not even Rav is Meida that it has a din like a matnas body. Kamash Malan. That's why this Gemara is coming to teach us that the halacha is not like Rava. That Rav holds whether it's bachayim, whether the lashon was mechayim, it'll always have a din like a matnas chimera. Ahudas like Hamed Rav Nachman Hadav. There was this person.
You gotta be careful what you say, right?
Yeah, it's like we have a Rosh Hashanah and the sense made tshuva. You have to say lachayim, but not loichayim. Okay, you have to be careful how the words are said. About mechayim means from his lifetime. Ahudas l'kamei the Avnachim l'ador. There was this person that lichayim. I'm saying if you say la, it sounds like loichayim. He says you have to look in the Shulchan over there. Ahudas l'kamei the Avnachim l'ador. There was this person that came to Avnachim l'ador to ask about a matana in which was written bachayim ubamavis. So he wanted to know if he could back out because he recovered from his sickness. It was the exact same case that we're talking about. In the shtar, he had written Machayim Amos, and Allah like Rav. But Rav Nachman didn't want to paskin in the Nado. Shadu lekamei, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Abba, L'shum Tamya. He sent this Shaila, he said, go ask your Shaila to Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Abba, in the place called Shum Tamya. Because that's the region where Rav is. Because the halach is like Rav. I didn't want to paskin in my place of Nado, where Shmuel resides as the Nasi, to paskin like Rav. This is disgraceful. He said, Hacha the Shmuel. Here Nado, this is the Makam of Shmuel. How can I go and paskin like the Shita of Rav? That's why he was concerned. So he sent them off to a place where it was in the region of Rav. That person will tell you the halach is like Rav. This story. There was this woman.
That's the end of the story?
That's the end of the story. Perfect story. There was this woman who was a shchimera, and she recovered. And she also wrote Machayim Amavis. She wrote Mechayim. Here was Mechayim Amavis. So she came before Rava. They asked the Shaila if she wrote in the Shtar Matana Shekos Mechayim Ubamavis. Now she recovered. She wants to know. She wants to be able to retract from the matana that she gave away.
Oh, we said halachas like Rav, no?
Right, and here she said mechayim. According to Rava, Rava says that if it's mechayim, as the Rashbam says, she used the lashon mechayim.
Oh, mechayim she used.
Yes. So Avad La Rava Kishmaite. So Rava did according to the way he paskin, even though we paskin the halach is not like Rava, and he did like he paskin that she cannot back out. She badgered him, and she said, "What are you talking about? The halach is like Rav. She can't understand." And she was making him so.
Why did you have to? She knew what the halach is like Rav.
But because she
weren't allowing her to
she
back out?
No, they weren't. They were fighting her. So Rava said to the Sefer, Papa, the son of Chana, the Sefer, he says, "Zilg Seifla, go ahead and write her like this, that she could back out of the matana, ukseba, and also write on the bottom, write seicha aleinu matan." What's the seicha aleinu matan? If we learned in the Gemara Bava Metzia, if you see in the Gemara Bava Metzia, it brings down if a person hired workers and they retracted, then you could take other workers for even a higher price and deduct it from their salary. Or matan. Matan, what does it mean? You could trick them, tell them, yeah, I'm going to pay you the higher price. And it's not even true. So what did he mean over here? Rava,
make them continue.
In order to make them to continue. So Rava used that lashon as a simon to the next person. When they read it, they should understand that he got her off. It's parting about it from her. Because she was badgering her, he just wanted to get rid of her. So he says, Rava ishtamish b'lashon zeh b'simila kasha kavanasi lahatase isha, to trick the woman because she wouldn't leave him alone. But she understood. She was no Narisha woman. The Amran, she said, "Litba arbe, let the svina of Rava sink." Atui kamatasli. When atui kamatasli, you want to come and trick me? You think I don't understand? She smelled what was going on.
That.
Yeah, I see what you wrote on the bottom. I know you're doing you're making stickers with me. You're not really giving it. You're not really allowing me to back out. Amshinu l'manei the Rav b'maya. They took the begadim, the mistama, the students, or Rav instructed his students to take his begadim and soak it in water, out of hope that her klala will be fulfilled that way. Because he brings down Shekein Afilu, the Rashbam says Shekein Afilu Adam Pashut Yesh Lachshoish Likilalase. Even from a simple person, you have to be concerned about a klala that he gives. Like it says in Megillah. Al in Megillah Tes Bava Aleph. Al Tehi Kilas Hedjit Kala
She was so
Beinacham.
simple, she was smart enough to know that what he wrote there was...
Okay, but
so,
even of a simple person.
So she heard...
So they try to get rid of her klala.
Because Rabba was involved in it and said something that she was not
She was
happy
losing
with.
money, so now he's going to lose
Her
money.
first had 100% of
So,
somewhere.
nevertheless, Rava's ship wasn't saved. Just like she made him lose, he was about to make her lose money. He lost money. His merchandise with the ship was sunk. Which word?
What's the last words?
Nevertheless, he wasn't saved from his ship sinking. Okay, Zok the Mishnah.
So how much money did he lose?
It doesn't say. Okay, we'll try to figure out a different time.
Brother had ships.
It seems like
And he
some.
Shasta says that he was a ship business.
I don't know. In Brachas it speaks about he paid for his dreams and Abaye didn't. Okay, Zok Yimana HaKoisev, one who writes all his Nechas Ma'acherim with as a Shtam Matana, but Loi Kasaba Shchimera, he didn't write it in the Lashon of a Shchimera. The Lashon of a Shchimera is they used to write, when they would write a Lashon in the Shtar, they would write that he's bedridden and he's writing to give over his possessions to another person. And it wasn't written that he was healthy either. Usually they write that he was up and going and while he was writing the Shtar.
He was in full senses.
So it doesn't matter. No senses he has even as a Shchimera. But they didn't write, usually if he's a Shchimera, they write that he's bedridden. Or if he's healthy, they say while he was up
So
and
how
going.
do you know he's dying? Maybe a guy is sick, so how do you know he's dying?
No, we're talking about that he was in
In other words, if you're a sick guy and you write that, then you consider it shchimera.
he was bedridden and he wasn't getting out of bed for a while. He was considered as a shchimera, yeah. Who am a shchimera ha'isi? But after he recovered, but he says, when I wrote it, I was a shchimera.
Okay.
And therefore, now that I recovered, I want my matana back. I want to be able to retract. The Hain and those that received the matana, no, but you were gesund, fester cheveman, and you wrote it. You gave it a good.
You didn't want to get out of bed.
You gave a good matana. Yeah, you know the story. A guy who didn't want to get out of bed in the sukkah. There's a bach geschlafen in the sukkah, and the father said, "Get up, get in the free." So Isaac mitzvah, patam na mitzvah. The bach said, "Ich will shina basukkah is a mitzvah, darf nicht stand a mitzvah im Tefillin." So the father took a bat and he started to beat him as a stark. And he says, "Hamitztaya b'sukkah, patam na sukkah." Just get up and get daven. Anyway, he says, he says, yeah, you were a healthy guy. You were a healthy guy when you wrote it. It was a good matana. So what's the halach? Who has to bring a raya? So he said, he has to bring proof that he was a shchimera. Well, the way at the time when he wrote it, people came to visit this day. People know, and it was written with a date. Let's say, those are the words of Meir. The Chum say no. He is a musik in the kaka. The Mekablim want to take it away from him.
You have to listen to what he says, right?
That what the person Kalemish is the Shchimera, you want to say he's not, go bring a raya that he wasn't the Shchimera. If you want to take out his Nechasim, his Rishus. Zaki Barahu Matanta, the Havakasabah, there was this story with a Shtar Matana. In it was written, meaning the one who was giving the Matana, Kad Hava Kotzir. But Rabbi Bar say, he says, when he was sick and he was bedridden, stuck in the bed, but usually you would write further. And he didn't write, he didn't finish the sentence and saying, he didn't write because of that sickness of why he was bedridden. That's what made him pass away from this world.
What's the listen? Have a kotzir? What's the type?
Kad. When have a kotzir, he was sick. Berami and lying, but arse is a bed. V'loy kasaba, and he did not write in the star umigo because of his mare of his sickness ifter leveis oilame, that he was nifter to the world to come. So like that's how they would usually write in Amat Nashchimera. That was written.
So he knows himself how to write it?
No, the
Or he has
Aiden
to have
signed.
the
No,
cipher
the
thing?
Aiden came and signed that it was a cause
It
of
was a
death.
whole event, it wasn't
Yeah, but it was-
a whole writing procedure.
but that's what it
You had
was.
to bring your lawyer with you.
And
to the event.
I don't know. There was lawyers. They didn't have time for
But the
that.
rabbis or the ciphering that know how to write
The
it.
Aiden, they write them because of that sickness. He taka passed away. They have to write. They have to continue and finish it. So it was known that the one who
They have to
gave
make sure
died.
he dies,
That he died because of that. Because if not, it's possible that he recovered. The Matana became bottle. Then became sick again. And they claim, hey, he gave away as a Matana the first time when he was sick. They don't know that there was a second, that he recovered in the middle. Amar Rabba Hare Meis, Hare Kibrei Mechi Chalav. Rabba says, hey, right now he's dead. So it's mashma. And we know he was sick when he wrote it. Even though he didn't write, he died because of the sickness. But since at the time he was a shchimina, and now we know he died, so minastam you say he died because of the sickness that he when he was a shchimina. Yeah, but he's saying chesed misa from that sickness when he was a shchimina. Abai says, why do you find it that the misa at the end proves that he never got up, he never recovered? Hashtam, I'm going to ask you a question. What madach in the case of a svina that sunk into the yam? Sherubam, that most of the people that were found in the svina were bound to sink and all drown. Nevertheless, you give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe you give them both chumas, that they're considered dead and alive. L'mashal, a bas yisrael that's married to a kohen, and her husband is on the ship and she never had any children. Usually, a bas yisrael, who's the wife of a kohen, gets to eat truma. But if she had no kids and the husband might have died, we give them, we say chumil meisa, he probably died and she can't eat truma.
She goes back to her house.
But she's a bas yisrael. Let's say she's a bas kohen that was married to a yisrael, and she had no kids. So while she's married, she's not allowed to eat truma. Now, he was on that ship, so we're assuming maybe he died. So now she goes back home. Officially, she should be up to eat truma. Say no, chumrei chaim. We say maybe he's still alive, and her husband's still alive. She's not allowed to eat truma. So you give even the chumrei of chaim. So you see, you consider that he recovered from this sinking ship. Says the Gemara, chaylin. When a person writes at tzava of ashchimera, shareiv chaylim l'chaim, most sick people recover. So like kol shekain, shouldn't we say for sure that the shchimera who wrote taka this tzava of shchimera, and later on he died, couldn't have been. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense that he recovered in the middle, because most sick people recovered. So it's probably a different sickness that he died from. So you have no proof. So he's saying you have no proof that he died from that sickness. So we can't give it to the Mekablim and say, oh, he died from that same sickness.
Always he can say
It
that.
could be
He
he
can say
recovered,
that all the time.
according to Abaya, unless he writes the lashon that the shchimera, he was bedridden and he died from that sickness of being a shchimera. But as long as you know,
Who
they
writes?
didn't. They finish off the sentence. But if they didn't
In
write
other words,
it
they finished signing off on
on that star, but as long as it didn't happen, you don't consider them as Mason.
So every shchimra has to have a document that's signed by.
That's what he that's what he wrote. That if he didn't write umitoich cholye niftar lebeisei lamai, if they didn't finish off the sentence like that, according to Abaya, we have to assume that he recovered, and this is maybe from a second sickness, and the matana is ois matana.
So the document felt up as these words.
So if it's missing those words,
sick.
so it's a safed because it could be he recovered from the sickness. Amrav Huna b'rei Rav Yeshua keman ozla hosh ma'ita derabba. Like whom does this sugya of Rabbah follow? Meaning this shita that we spoke about kad havakotzer, with a person with not writing the finishing of the sentence. Says you want
we give him the benefit that maybe he recovered.
According to Rabbah,
No.
Rabbah says that no, you don't give. You say he probably died from that death.
He eventually died.
It's from that death.
It's from the original death.
Yes, that's Rabbah. Abaye says not. Says Gemara Rabbi Nosson. He follows the Shita of Rabbi Nosson in the following Braisa. The Tanya that we learned in the Braisa wasn't saying the Braisa. The Gabi Ashtam Matana, in which it wasn't written not a Lashon Matana, and it wasn't and not a Lashon Matana's body, nor was it written a Lashon Matana Shrimira. And I told you, Matana's body means that they write that he was up and going, and while he wrote the star. And a Shrimira, you write that he was bedridden while he wrote the star. So now there's a vikuach between the Noisen, the one that gave the Matana, and the Mekabel Matana. The Noisen says when he gave it, he was a Shrimira, and therefore if he recovered, he wants to be able to take back his Matana. And the Mekabelim say, no, when he wrote it, he was a Gesundter Mensch. Mi Meitzi Miyad Mi. Who is able to take out of whom? I was just going to show you what's the Lashon. I think he brought down the Lashon here. One body. Okay, he doesn't bring down here the Lashon. Okay, but he was up and going. That's how the Lashon was as a matnas body. So who can take out from who? Says you who makes midayim? The Noisen can take it out of the Mekablim's hands. The loy raya, without any raya. Okay?
Why? Because he got up?
Who? The Noisen? No, because the Noisen is the Muzik. The Hain ain't moitzim meyad el b'raya, and they could only take it out if they could bring a raya. Okay? Nechasim. Why is the Noisen, the Nechasim, or in his chazaka, is b'ches kasai? It was always in his reshus. You want to take it out? You're the one that's being moitzim from him. So therefore, he's allowed to take it away from them without a raya because he's the mulsik.
No, look, we're talking about that he got up, he got well, right?
Yes.
The Shaila was that he was a Shchim Mara or not a Shchim Mara.
Right, so they have to bring a raya that it was a matnas body.
Okay.
Okay, so we.
How do they do that?
And you can't say they grabbed the kaka. Grabbing the kaka means nothing. It's even when they grab the kaka.
How do they prove that was a buddy when he gave it to them?
There was him at the time when he wrote it.
But he was like he wrote it.
But he was a buddy, was saying, not as a shchimera. If you want to say it's a matnas buddy, you have to say he wrote it as a buddy. Okay, so Divrei Rabbi Yaakov. Those are the words of Rabbi Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov says you put the nechasim b'cheskas sai in the cheskas of the noisen, and the onus is on the mekablim if they want to be able to take away. If the matana from him, he says he was sick and he recovered and it's his, and the kaka was l'chatchila in his chazaka, so they have to prove, the onus on them to prove that he was a buddy when he wrote it. Okay. Those are the words of Rabbi Yaakov. Rabbi Nosson says differently. He says, we look at now, in buddy who, when the Noisen comes to Bezdin now, and right now he's come today, he's a buddy, a love. So it's upon the Noisen, Lahavi Raya Shaya Shemira. He will have to bring a raya that he was a Shemira. 505.
Because he had a chazaka that he was a buddy when he started, and then he became a Shemira.
No, because you look at now. Right now he's a buddy. So you want to say...
Periods.
Okay, so then you're going to have to, right now, we look at right now.
He said a Shemira, and now he's a buddy, right? So what do we look at? So he says you look at buddies right now.
Right now, he says, he has now, the Noisen has to be proved at the time of the giving that he was a Shemira. And if not, we assume that he was a buddy just like he's a buddy now. Ve'im shchimera hu, if he's a shchimera at the time when he came to Bezdin right now, aleihem, it's upon the mekablin, la'aviraya shabari hoya, that he was a buddy at the time when he gave the matana.
Okay, so we look
So
at
we,
what- we look at
because
it
they look at now, right? So Rabbi
Yeah,
Yaakov holds.
Rabbi
So Rabbi
Nosson.
Yaakov says we always accept the time of the Noisim because he's the Musik. So they want to
And right now
say.
he's a buddy, so we
So right now, no, we don't look at now. He says he's v'cheskasei. It's his karka, and they want to be mitzi from him. So they have to be a raya that he was a buddy. According to Rav Nosson, no, it depends when he came to Bezdin. Now we look at now. If he's a buddy now,
That's what Rav Nosson says.
Rav Nosson says. So we assume David Rav Nosson, no? Rabbi Nosson Neima. In buddy who Allah. You look at now. If he's a buddy when he came to Bezdin, you have to look. It's upon him to bring a right that he was a shchimera at the time that he brought the matana. Ve'im shchimerahu. If he was a shchimera at the time when, right now when he came to Bezdin, so aleihem, it's upon the mekablim, those that are receiving the matana, that he was a buddy. The Gemara wants to be tailored this suffix by in dini tuma. In the same achlekes that we have that by tuma, in the same achlekes we have between Rav Nosson and Rabbi Yaakov, when they get to the tzava. Amar Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Lazar said, "Uletuma kamachlekes." The halacha by Hilchas Tuma is totally in this previous machlekes between Rabbi Yaakov and Rabbi Nosson. It's not that we learned in the Mishnah. Bika, a bika is a valley with many fields, okay, and tfuah, but it's surrounded by mechitzas of 10 tefach mai. But Yemais Hachama, in the summertime, it's considered as a Reshus HaYachal in Shabbos. Meaning, it's us minatera to take out from that bika, which is surrounded by mechitzas of 10 tefachim, into the Reshus HaRabim. Right? Because it's surrounded by mechitzas. But Reshus HaRabim letuma. But it has a din like a Reshus HaRabim, b'negeya to tuma. If there was a suffix tuma that was in that valley, it was revealed that there was a cave there, but it's a suffix if the person was mile over it and became tummy or not. So if it's b'yemei shamim in the rainy season, people don't walk there because you're going to destroy the tefur that's growing. Reshus HaYachid. I'm sorry, b'yemei chametz Reshus HaRabim, because everybody walks there. And suffix tuma b'Reshus HaRabim is tari. If it's a suffix whether this person was mile over the tuma, so suffix tuma b'Reshus HaRabim is tari. But in the rainy season, where people are not allowed to walk into the fields at that time, it has a din as a Reshus HaYachid lekan side for Shabbos, because it's surrounded by mechitzas, that you're not allowed to take out anything from the bika out to the Reshus HaRabim because you're carrying. And Sai, but again, it's a tumah, because people don't walk there during the rain season. So it's suffix tumah Reshus HaYachid, and suffix tumah Reshus HaYachid, we go lechumna, and he's tamei. Okay? Amar Rava.
So what do we see? What do we see?
So over there it's talking about a case, I'm just going to make it clear. He doesn't know when he walked, when he went there. You understand? If he went b'yemei shamim, or he went b'yemei hachama. So according to Rabbi Yaakov says we go b'cheskasei. B'cheskasei was that he was tired, right? So he started off with his tired. So you say so he means tired. But according to Rabbi Nosson, you look at now. He came now to Bezdin. If it was b'yemei shamim, so it has a din as a Reshus HaYachid, suffix to Reshus HaYachid is going to be tamei. If he came in the time in the season of summer season, it has a din like a Reshus HaRabim, suffix to Reshus HaRabim is going to be Torah. Okay? Here I'll say the case that Ashban brings. Other mother v'biko la'achazman is what show you about keva. He found out there was a keva. Ve'nei yedei bizmanoi heil al makom ha'keva ilay. He doesn't know if he went over the keva and when. He doesn't remember.
There was a cave.
There was a cave, but he doesn't
Otherwise
remember.
it would have been a
And he doesn't know which season he went in the Bika. Atu bala fanel levares dina. Rabbi Lazman lamed shedina shona b'machlekes Rabbi Nosson Rabbi Yaakov. Lefi Rabbi Nosson Adin toli bizman shu bala faneinu l'shol hakach. We go according to when he came to his. So if he came b'yimeisak shamim, so we assume that it's happening. He went over the cave doing a suffix. It was a suffix if he went over the cave b'yimeisak shamim, which is considered as a shusayachid, and suffix community shusayachid is tamei. If he came during the summer season, so we say he probably went during the summer season. Suffix community shusarabim is going to be tired. Okay, but according to Rabbi Les, according to Rabbi Yaakov, we're going to put him on the chazaka from before that he's tired.
So it doesn't matter when he comes.
Not according to Rabbi Yaakov, no. Amar Rabbi said, Lo Shanu. This that we said that the Bika, this valley, in the summertime, it's considered as a Reshus HaRabim, right? Because people are walking back and forth. For Tumah, is Ella Shalei Avru Aleha Yemeisak Shamim. As long as the rain season never passed during this time, during the Bika time.
Why is that in the beginning?
Because he says, Avalim Avru Aleha Yemeisak Shamim. But after he built a gate around it, and then it went through the season of rain season, so even though now it becomes summertime, it's always going to, once this winter season went through, it established it into Reshus HaYachid. Even now, after the winter time comes the summer, we're going to consider it Reshus HaYachid Lakan Lakan. We'll always consider it as a Reshus HaYachid.
It remains always a Reshus HaYachid.
It remains always a Reshus HaYachid, and something to Reshus HaYachid will be coming. It's only if it's for the first time after he put the gates around, and it's summertime before the winter time when he did it. Okay, we'll stop over here.